2, 7, 8 スクール学校スクール学校
In some parts of the world, school is often associated with fun and individual expression. But Japanese schools offer a starkly different experience.
The strictest rules at my Japanese high school. And so rule number 1, no makeup.
Every aspect of students' appearance and behavior is meticulously regulated, from strictly enforced uniforms that allow no personalization to prohibitions on bringing lunch from home.
Almost all Japanese elementary schools provide lunch for their pupils. The children learn about their food and how to choose a balanced diet.
Japan's school rules stand out as unique and stringent, shaping daily routines and reflecting deeply ingrained cultural values and educational priorities. Join us as we explore 20 Japanese school rules you won't believe actually exist. Number 20. Uniforms are mandatory. In Japan, school uniforms are mandatory for both public and private schools, distinguishing them from many other countries where they remain optional.
Japanese students from kindergarten all the way to high school, sometimes even college, wear school uniforms. You can tell where they go to school by the colors and styles of those uniforms.
These uniforms serve purposes beyond mere appearance. They symbolize equality and order within the student body. By standardizing attire, regardless of students' backgrounds, uniforms promote inclusivity and unity. Typically, uniforms feature navy blue and white colors and may include a white shirt paired with a sailor collar and pleated shorts or skirts.
Japanese school uniforms, you know that boys typically wear pants, a jacket, sometimes a tie, and the girls wear skirts and blouses.
The significance of these uniforms goes beyond aesthetics. They foster a disciplined environment and help students mentally prepare for the school day. Japanese culture views wearing a uniform as a reminder of students' responsibilities and the expectations placed upon them, thereby contributing to a focused learning atmosphere. The uniforms are designed for practicality and simplicity, ensuring ease of maintenance with quick-drying materials that leave no room for excuses. Strict adherence to uniform regulations is enforced, with non-compliance resulting in disciplinary measures. Each school designs its unique uniform, incorporating specific colors and styles that cultivate pride in the institution and foster a sense of belonging among students. Number 19. White undergarments are a must. It may come as a surprise, but in Japan, school authorities extend their regulations beyond outerwear to dictate even the color of students' underwear. Without exception, all students, both male and female, were required to wear white underwear in many schools. This rule was enforced seriously across numerous institutions, with 138 out of 238 schools surveyed implementing it. To ensure compliance, schools went to lengths such as conducting random inspections of students' underwear. Female teachers and supervisors sometimes entered dressing rooms unannounced to verify that students adhered to this regulation. While some viewed these measures as necessary for discipline, others criticized them as excessive and potentially infringing on students' privacy and freedom. Fortunately, this strict requirement for Japanese students was abolished a few years ago, reflecting changing attitudes towards personal autonomy and privacy in educational settings. Number 18. Separate indoor and outdoor shoes. When kids arrive at school in Japan, they are required to change into different indoor shoes. This tradition stems from cultural norms of removing shoes before entering homes or other buildings to maintain cleanliness. Students use specialized indoor footwear called uwabaki. Designed to be lightweight, flexible, and easy to slip on and off. This practice is ingrained in Japanese daily life, with students following it diligently both at school and in other indoor settings. At the entrance of most Japanese schools, rows of shoe lockers, known as getabako, are neatly arranged.
これが下駄箱です。生徒はここで靴を脱いで指定された上履きと呼ばれる靴に履き替えます。
By switching from outdoor shoes to designated indoor footwear, students help prevent the spread of dirt, germs, and debris throughout the school. This meticulous practice ensures that indoor school areas remain clean, fostering a hygienic learning environment. Similar customs of not wearing shoes indoors are observed across various Asian cultures, highlighting shared values of cleanliness and respect for indoor spaces. Number 17, all students are required to clean. In many Western countries, students primarily attend school to learn, with cleaning tasks typically handled by janitorial staff rather than students themselves. In contrast, Japanese schools take a different approach, placing a strong emphasis on character development and life skills alongside academics, particularly in the early years. From a young age, Japanese children undergo short tests and focus on cultivating positive character traits and habits before formal exams begin around age 10.
In Japanese school, we don't have janitors, so the students have to clean the classroom.
Values such as kindness, generosity, respect, compassion, and empathy are instilled during these formative years. Central to this educational philosophy is the practice of cleaning. Students are taught to maintain cleanliness and organization, starting with cleaning up after themselves and their immediate surroundings. This responsibility extends throughout their school years, with students expected to clean their own classrooms and rotate duties for common areas like restrooms even into high school. In many Japanese high schools, custodial staff may not be employed as students collectively manage cleaning tasks as part of their daily routine. Japan's schools are renowned for their cleanliness, a reputation upheld by a unique practice. Students dedicate about 15 minutes daily to cleaning their classrooms. Younger pupils often clean ahead of time to earn extra playtime during recess. This routine not only ensures a tidy school environment, but also cultivates a lifelong habit of personal hygiene and responsibility. While this approach may seem unconventional to some, it instills in students a strong sense of accountability and cleanliness from an early age. Number 16, cram schools. In Japan and across Asia, cram schools, known as juku, play a critical role in students' academic journeys, particularly as they prepare for entrance exams to prestigious high schools. Unlike many other countries, Japan mandates passing rigorous entrance tests for high school admission, irrespective of academic performance or recommendations. These exams assess students' proficiency across various subjects, prompting many to enroll in cram schools to excel in these assessments. Regular school classes and daily life in Japan often diverge from the demands of these entrance exams. With large class sizes exceeding 40 students, teachers face challenges in meeting individual student needs. While some thrive, others struggle to keep pace. Cram schools address these disparities by providing personalized instruction tailored to each student's requirements. There are two primary types of juku: Shingaku Juku, which prepares students for entrance into competitive junior high schools or universities, and Hoshujuku, which supports students struggling in their regular classes. By offering focused attention, cram schools ensure students acquire the knowledge and skills essential for academic success. Despite their intense reputation, these institutions are integral to Japan's education system, bridging the gap between traditional schooling and the demands of entrance examinations. Number 15, no makeup allowed. Japan, in their pursuit of modesty, equality, and conservativeness, has also imbibed the rule of no makeup being worn amongst students. In the Western world, it isn't uncommon for a high school student to be seen wearing makeup or even having painted colored nails as a way of expressing themselves in their appearance. Japan, however, will have none of these. The majority of schools there prohibit students from wearing any kind of makeup on their faces.
The strictest rules at my Japanese high school. And so rule number 1, no makeup.
The most important reason for this is their aim to promote discipline, harmony, and unity, and also uniformity, thus discouraging discrepancies amongst the appearance of students. This rule's other justification is to make sure that students present themselves in a consistent, natural way, free from potential distractions or conflicts resulting from differences in appearance. However, there are many Japanese institutions, primarily those that serve international students, that permit the application of light makeup in order to accommodate the cultures of their students from multiple diverse communities. Number 14, no accessories allowed. In Japan, makeup is not the only thing they frown upon in schools, but accessories also. In most other countries, accessories are not seen as a problem. Some at least allow for moderately sized accessories. However, in Japan, there are no accessories allowed, not even one. Even for elderly residents, it is uncommon to find any kind of piercing. It is considered a wild concept in Japan. To even see anyone with so much as an ear piercings as piercings are generally prohibited in Japan, along with any other type of jewelry.
The strictest rules at my Japanese high school. No piercings. I do not show up to my school like this.
Students are also not allowed to wear hats or caps, and they are not allowed to wear headphones. Anyone found going against this rule or faulting it in any ways is sure to face serious punishment when caught. Number 13, respectful greeting. Bowing is a fundamental gesture of politeness and respect deeply ingrained in Japanese culture, but it can be perplexing for foreigners unfamiliar with its nuances. In Japan, bowing serves as a significant display of reverence, reflecting the high value placed on respect in everyday interactions.
The culture of respect is one of the most important values in Japanese society. One way for Japanese people to show respect is to bow.
Students in Japan demonstrate this respect through various bowing rituals, depending on the context. When entering the classroom, they bow to their teacher both as a greeting and a mark of deference. At the conclusion of the lesson, students bow again to express gratitude for the instruction received. Inside the classroom, raising one's hand to indicate a desire to speak is customary, contrasting with the Western practice of freely offering answers. This respectful approach ensures orderly communication during lessons. Outside the classroom, encountering professors prompts another bow accompanied by a polite greeting of good morning or good afternoon. Additionally, students often acknowledge their teacher's efforts with a bow and the phrase "Otsukare-sama deshita," conveying appreciation for their hard work. Bowing in Japan is not just a gesture, it's a deeply rooted custom that spans various forms, each carrying its own level of formality and significance. At its most casual, there's the eshaku, a slight head nod used informally in greetings. On more solemn occasions, such as ceremonies or deeply respectful moments, the profound saikiri bow is reserved. What makes bowing unique in Japan is its pervasive presence beyond mere public interactions. It's a cultural practice ingrained from a young age, taught to students as part of their education in etiquette and respect. This education extends not only to showing deference to teachers, but also to respecting superiors and even deities. Number 12. No meals from home are allowed. In many countries, it's customary for students to bring homemade lunches to school, lovingly packed by parents who prioritize their children's nutrition. However, in Japan, the approach to school lunches differs significantly, especially in primary and junior high schools. Here, children are not permitted to bring lunches from home. Instead, they partake in school-provided meals known as shokuku, which translates to food and nutrition education. These school lunches are meticulously planned by nutritionists to ensure they meet balanced dietary requirements and educate students about healthy eating habits from a young age. Despite not bringing meals from home, the cost remains affordable, typically around $2.50 per meal due to substantial government subsidies. It's fascinating to observe how Japanese schools integrate daily tasks like serving and distributing food among children.
Almost all Japanese elementary schools provide lunch for their pupils. The children learn about their food and how to choose a balanced diet.
This practice not only instills a sense of community and teamwork, but also teaches them responsibility and obligation management from a young age. In response to health and allergy concerns, there has been a shift in allowing children to choose not to finish all their food. These school lunches are renowned for their use of organic, fresh ingredients rather than processed or frozen foods. Typically comprising 600 to 700 calories, these meals are balanced with vegetables, meat or fish, and carbohydrates. The Japanese government conducts nationwide surveys on eating habits and nutrition to inform the preparation of these nutritious meals. Unlike many countries where students eat in cafeterias, Japanese students often eat lunch in their classrooms, reinforcing values of cleanliness and personal responsibility by cleaning up after themselves. The high quality of school cuisine is such that parents frequently inquire about recipes from schools. This approach ensures kids get balanced meals, teaches them about healthy eating, and helps them learn to take responsibility for their food choices. Number 11. No substitute teacher. A substitute teacher usually fills in for a teacher in many other nations to make sure that students aren't left unattended. However, students in Japan assume responsibility for their studies and schoolwork in the absence of a teacher and carry on without adult supervision. These pupils are taught how to take care of themselves, and they carry this independence into adulthood. You heard correctly, students continue their studies while also taking command of the class. This method is based on Japanese ideals that encourage students to be independent and self-disciplined. Students are encouraged to take charge of their education and develop leadership and responsibility skills when they are given the duty of directing the class. Although some students may decide to ignore their studies or take a nap, they usually understand when to stop. The practice emphasizes the value of accountability and self-control, and the outcomes are evident. Japanese students demonstrate their capacity for independence and initiative in their education by skillfully managing their classrooms in the absence of a teacher. Number 10. No dyed or permed hair. In Japan, contrary to the assumption that students might have creative freedom with hairstyles due to the prohibition of cosmetics, the reality is starkly different. Deviating from strict guidelines on hair color and style can lead to severe consequences, including expulsion. The norm in Japan mandates that hair must be black, a natural color for the majority of the population, and this extends to school policies mandating uniformity in appearance. For students wishing to alter their hair color, whether naturally dark or blonde, these policies pose significant challenges. Many Japanese high schools enforce stringent regulations to ensure hair remains in its natural state. In Tokyo, for instance, schools often require documentation from students verifying their hair's natural color and condition, preventing bleaching or perming that alters hair color or texture. The certification process has become widespread, with nearly half of Tokyo's high schools implementing it. Despite this, opposition is growing among students who argue that these rules infringe upon their rights to privacy and self-expression. The issue gained national attention in 2017 with an incident where a female student was forced to dye her naturally brown hair black. When she protested and eventually left the school, authorities went as far as removing her desk and marking her absent from rosters, even inspecting her hair roots. While courts have upheld schools' authority to enforce such rules, the student received compensation of $3,100 for mental distress in a lawsuit, highlighting the emotional impact of these regulations. Number 9. Punctuality is upheld at all times. Japanese culture places a high premium on punctuality, reflecting a deep respect for time and consideration for others. Known for their strict adherence to schedules, Japanese individuals prioritize punctuality to an extent where some would rather skip meals than arrive late. This value is evident across various aspects of daily life, from the meticulous timing of train schedules, where conductors apologize for even slight delays, to the early arrival of students at schools and employees at workplaces. Schools in Japan enforce rigorous policies on punctuality, particularly during events like early morning ceremonies, where gates close promptly at a specified time. Students arriving late are often denied entry as a consequence. Similarly, in business settings, Japanese professionals arrive at meetings 5 to 10 minutes early or precisely on time as a sign of respect and efficiency. If conducting business with a Japanese counterpart, arriving early is essential, as lateness is rarely tolerated and can be seen as disrespectful. This commitment to punctuality reflects broader cultural values of discipline, order, and mutual respect. Number 8. Mandatory swimming lessons. Swimming is a mandatory part of the curriculum for students in Japan starting from junior high school. By the time students reach senior high school, many of them have developed a fondness for swimming, viewing it as a recreational activity rather than just a requirement. This is beneficial as swimming offers numerous health advantages such as stress reduction, improved cardiovascular fitness, and enhanced muscle strength and endurance. Beyond these physical benefits, the ability to swim is also crucial for potential life-saving situations, making it a vital skill, particularly relevant in Japan, an island nation rich in natural water bodies like rivers, lakes, and coastal areas. Teaching children to swim from an early age not only enables them to safely enjoy these aquatic environments, but also enhances their survival prospects during natural disasters such as tsunamis or floods. The Japanese approach of incorporating swimming into education is not only practical, but also proactive in preventing drownings and promoting water safety among citizens. As a result, aquaphobia, or fear of water, is uncommon among the population. Number 7. Students can't fail a grade. In most traditional educational systems around the world, students face periodic tests and exams throughout the academic year. Success in these assessments typically determines whether students progress to the next grade level or are required to repeat the year or attend remedial classes during the summer. However, Japanese schools operate differently. Regardless of their exam results, students automatically advance to the next grade each year. This practice might seem surprising and unconventional compared to global norms. It suggests a departure from the standard practice where academic performance directly influences grade progression. One might speculate that this leniency could lead to a lack of academic rigor or motivation among students. However, the reality is quite the opposite. While grade retention is uncommon, the pressure to excel academically remains high, especially when applying to colleges or competitive high schools. Achieving good grades becomes crucial for advancing to the next educational level and meeting societal expectations. Number 6. Club activities are important. In Japanese schools, every student is mandated to participate in club activities known as bukatsudo, or simply bukatsu. These extracurricular activities are integral to the Japanese educational system, extending beyond the standard academic curriculum to play a significant role in students' personal development and growth. Bukatsudo encompasses a wide array of activities catering to diverse interests and skill levels. Cultural clubs such as calligraphy and tea ceremony coexist with sports clubs like soccer, basketball, and judo, offering students a plethora of choices to pursue their passions outside of regular classroom studies. The abundance of club options not only enriches students' educational experiences, but also fosters camaraderie, discipline, and teamwork. By participating in bukatsu, students learn valuable life skills, cultivate their talents, and form lasting friendships, contributing to a well-rounded education that goes beyond academic achievement. For new students, navigating the myriad club options at a Japanese school can be initially overwhelming. To help them acclimate, shortly after the entrance ceremony, schools typically host a gathering where various clubs showcase their activities and recruit members. Throughout the school year, clubs actively promote themselves by hanging posters around campus and organizing events to attract new recruits. Japanese school clubs generally fall into two main categories: sports clubs and cultural clubs, each offering a diverse array of activities. Within sports clubs, students can participate in traditional Japanese martial arts like kendo, kyudo, and karate, or modern sports such as soccer, baseball, and volleyball. Cultural clubs span a wide spectrum, from brass ensembles and pop music groups to artistic chorus and theatre performances. Club participation is often a significant commitment for students who dedicate themselves to regular practice sessions and often compete in inter-school and national competitions. These clubs provide a valuable platform for students to not only excel academically, but also to thrive outside the classroom, fostering teamwork, discipline, and a sense of achievement. Number 5. No romantic relationship is allowed. In Japan, the concept of romantic relationships among students is heavily discouraged, if not outright prohibited. Despite natural feelings that students may develop toward their peers of the opposite gender, engaging in any form of romantic relationship is strictly forbidden. Those who violate this rule face severe consequences, including expulsion or other disciplinary measures. This stringent regulation is not just upheld by school authorities, but also strongly supported by parents, highlighting cultural norms that prioritize academic focus and discipline over personal relationships during school years. As a result, public displays of affection such as holding hands are strictly prohibited on school grounds, and any off-campus activities involving romantic interest must be conducted discreetly to avoid detection. The consequences for breaking these rules can be harsh and can include students being compelled to leave school, as was the case for a girl who was discovered to be in a romantic relationship. While some may perceive these measures as unfair, Japanese school authorities maintain that they are necessary to uphold a focused and disciplined learning environment, free from distractions and disruptions. Number 4. No cell phones allowed. The debate over cell phone use in Japanese schools raises intriguing questions about balancing technological integration with educational focus. While cell phones are undeniably pervasive in modern society, Japan places a high value on uninterrupted concentration during student studies, viewing distractions unfavorably. Consequently, the use of cell phones among students is generally frowned upon. In 2009, Japan implemented a nationwide ban on cell phones in elementary and high schools. However, following the Osaka City earthquake in 2018, authorities reconsidered this stance, acknowledging that cell phones could have provided vital communication and reassurance during emergencies. This reconsideration sparks a broader discussion. Is the presence of cell phones in schools beneficial or detrimental? On one hand, they facilitate instant communication and access to information, potentially enhancing safety and emergency response. On the other hand, cell phones can easily distract students from learning and social interaction, impacting their academic performance and social development. Number 3. No tights even in winter. Japanese school uniforms are generally admired for their aesthetic appeal, but there's one particular rule that often perplexes both locals and outsiders alike. In Japan, female students are prohibited from wearing tights to school, even if their skirts are very short. While schools do provide alternative options such as leg warmers or knee-high socks that comply with the dress code, the ban on tights remains strictly enforced. Many people find this rule unusual and somewhat difficult to comprehend. Critics argue that allowing tights could lead to students wearing overly patterned or distracting collars, which goes against the uniformity and modesty that Japanese schools aim to uphold. Despite these reasons, the strict prohibition on tights continues to be a point of contention among students and parents alike. Number 2. Children go to school on their own. Japan is widely regarded as one of the safest countries globally, allowing school children to walk to school independently without the safety concerns prevalent in many other nations. This practice instills independence and responsibility in children from a young age, fostering their self-reliance and confidence. The communal spirit of Japanese society plays a crucial role in ensuring children's safety during their commute. Citizens prioritize the well-being of young pedestrians, creating a supportive environment where children can navigate their way to school with minimal risk. This collective vigilance helps guarantee that children arrive at school safely and securely, contributing to their overall well-being and sense of security. Number 1. Ponytail is prohibited. In Japanese schools, female students are restricted from wearing ponytails, despite the hairstyle being considered beautiful and modest in many cultures. This rule originates from concerns over potential immoral behavior between students of different genders. Authorities believe that exposing the nape of the neck through a ponytail can provoke sexual arousal among male students, leading to a ban on the hairstyle. As a result, female students are required to keep their hair down at all times while in school. This regulation reflects Japan's strict approach to maintaining modesty and decorum among students, aiming to create a focused and respectful learning environment. Considering these rules, they undoubtedly contribute to students developing strong character and maintaining focus in school. However, schools in other countries, where students enjoy greater freedom, would likely find it challenging to adopt such strict regulations.